Tonight is the night. The fancy ball awaits and you have on your dancing shoes. Your goal tonight is to impress the guests with your fancy clothes and your fabulous dance moves. You need 3 accolades from the judges and you intend to get them before the other dancers manage the same. This is Trifecta Fancy Dancing, which was designed by Zoran Dobijevic and published by Tabletop Tycoon, who sponsors this video. Hey everyone, I'm Mike Murphy of the Brothers Murph and I'm here with Board Game Geek. Well, I've just arrived at the ball and it's time to dance, so let's get this game down to the table to go a little more in focus on Trifecta Fancy Dancing.
In Trifecta Fancy Dancing, you and your opponent are competing to show off your moves and outfits by playing cards in 1 of 3 rows on either your side of the dance floor or your opponent's. Each card has a power, value, and style, and cards must be played in ascending or descending values depending on the rules of the rows. The hope is to have a combined power of 21 to 26 when a 5th card is played in a row in order to score an accolade. You begin each turn by drawing a card. You then have 2 options. First, you may add a card from your hand face up to one of the rows. This can be on your side of the dance floor or your opponent's. Each row will have different rules for what must be placed, and you will always put your card as close to the center column as possible. Cards show 3 main bits of information. In the top right, you will see 1 of 3 styles, which represents the type of dance move you are doing. In the top left, you have a power, and in the bottom right, you'll have the amount of points that card is worth. Rows have rules for what can be played to them. If a row has a plus sign, each card in the row must have an equal or greater value than the card played previously. If this is the first card in a row, any value can be played. If a row has a minus symbol, the opposite is true, and each card must have a power equal to or lower than the previous card played. The style row doesn't consider power values on cards, but rather the style itself, and each card must match the style before it. Star cards act as wilds for style and power value, and they are worth 1 or 11 points based on what is most useful for the player whose side the star card is on. Note that there are 2 other cards that can change the game around. When the lowest or highest power cards, 2 and 13 respectively, are played into a row with a plus or minus sign, they cause that card to flip to its opposite side. So pluses become minuses and vice versa. This immediately changes the rules for how cards must be played to a row, and both cards are always worth exactly 1 point. If you don't like your hand of cards after drawing a new card, you can choose instead to do a refresh action on your turn. This allows you to discard your entire hand and draw 2 new cards, but you forego playing a card that turn. As players add cards to the various rows, the dance floor will begin to fill. Anytime when a row has a 5th card added to it, it's time to score. The player whose side of the dance floor has a full row will count up the points from each of the 5 cards played. If the score lands in a range of 21 to 26 points, they gain an accolade, bringing them 1 step closer to victory. If the score was less than 21, they didn't make enough of an impression. If the score is more than 26, they may have overdone it. In both cases, no accolade is given. Regardless of the outcome, those 5 cards are discarded and more room has been just cleared on the dance floor. If at any moment one player collects their 3rd accolade, they are crowned dance royalty and they win. If you would like to play solitaire or cooperatively, you can do so as well. In these modes, you will only use one side of the dance floor. The goal is to gain 3 accolades before the deck of dance cards runs out. You can also play an endurance mode of solitaire or co-op, where the goal is to earn as many accolades as possible while going through the deck 3 times.
In Trifecta Fancy Dancing, it's all about threading that needle and scoring just enough points to earn those sweet accolades. If you find yourself with the wrong cards, try playing one of those highs or lows that flip those pluses to minuses so that you gain the upper hand, and if people are talking about you, you win. And if this seems like a game you'd enjoy, give it a play and see what kind of moves you can conjure up. And until next time, I'm Mike Murphy, and this has been Trifecta Fancy Dancing. Have a great day.